Hey guys, I'm Natalie Hodson, and I am excited to talk to you guys about this topic that I have recently just gotten such a passion for. So it says that Facebook is building me an audience. So while I'm waiting for Facebook to build that audience, why don't you guys go ahead and leave a comment and let me know where you're from, if you've had kids, and if you want some more information on this specific program, write the word link below and I'll respond as soon as the video is over with a direct link for you. So last month, about a month and a half ago, I released a new program called Abs Core Pelvic Floor. And I wrote in the comments that if you have any issues accidentally peeing your pants when you cough or when you sneeze or when you jump on a trampoline, if you have something called diastasis recti, which I know is a crazy sounding word, but I'm going to go ahead and put this in the comments. So, oh good, hey Tammy, Tammy's on, she says link. Hey Kim says link. I'd love to know where you guys are from, so go ahead and leave it in the comments. Stacy from Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I have one 3.5-year-old daughter. Awesome. So glad you guys are here. Also, if anybody is watching this video right now and has actually purchased the program, where are my girls at? Go ahead and leave a comment and let us know kind of what you guys experienced with the program, the results that you saw. We literally have had thousands of people go through the program now and have seen amazing, amazing results. In fact, I'm gonna read some of the stuff from you guys here for you guys here in just a minute. So I wanna make sure that you watch all the way to the end of the video, because at the end of the video, I'm gonna show you the #1 exercise that you guys can do to help if you're struggling with some of these issues with accidentally peeing your pants with, and I know that sounds like so embarrassing to talk about. Even now, I still get flustered talking about it a little bit. But I know that this is a topic that nobody talks about, and 1 in 4 women have pelvic floor dysfunction. And so this is something that I think a lot of people are struggling with, but nobody really talks about. And so I am on a mission to help educate people and to help people not feel that shame associated with a lot of these issues. Hey Taryn's from New Jersey with an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. So I guess now, you know, if you guys are watching this video and you don't know much about me, you may, I guess I'm kind of known now as like the girl who will talk about things that nobody else likes to talk about. And I had a video that went viral that I made a couple years ago, a perfectly imperfect video where I shared the stretched skin that I had on my stomach after having 2 10-pound babies. And it was really a wonderful experience. After I shared that video, I was so scared and nervous and feeling embarrassed to share that. But afterwards, I mean, literally millions of women watched that video and said, oh my gosh, me too. And it made me realize that once I started talking about these things that I was embarrassed to talk about, it really connected us a lot as women, and it made us feel like, okay, wow, I didn't know that was, even though it's common, I didn't know that could be fixed, or, you know, I don't have to feel so embarrassed. These are things that everybody can talk about. And so that's kind of my goal. So let me tell you a little bit of background story on why I even created this program. So I had 2 10-pound babies. Let's see. Hi from Turkey. Awesome. I love seeing where you guys are at. Keep commenting and letting me know where you guys are tuning in from, because it's really fun for me. I'm in Idaho, Boise, Idaho. So I have my computer here because I'm going to show you guys something in just a minute. Wendy says this happens to me all the time. Wendy, I'm so happy to hear that you're talking about it, because that's the #1 thing that I experienced once I went through this program, is just realizing that I'm not alone, or I wasn't alone. So basically I had 2 10-pound babies, and I love my children. I mean, I am fiercely protective of my kids. I would do anything for my kids, but I gained like 70 pounds during my pregnancies. I was 225 pounds when I delivered my daughter, and I even just got started in the fitness industry because I was trying to lose weight after I had my babies. Cool. Katrina's from Utah, Wendy's from Ontario, Heather's from California. Awesome. And so after I had my babies, I really struggled with, if I would run or sprint or cough too hard or laugh too hard or sneeze, I would accidentally pee my pants. And it wasn't like I was walking around all the time just like leaking all the time. It was, see, and I'm getting better at talking about it, but it still makes me a little bit, I start to blush when I think about it. Because it is, I mean, nobody wants to admit that they're accidentally peeing their pants, but I just kind of thought, you know, I've had 2 10-pound babies, and I just thought it was like normal. I thought that was going to be my new normal after I had babies. I never talked about it because I just figured, I know a lot of women go through this, and that's just part of the deal after you have babies. And at the same time, and I'm going to tell you in a second how these are related, I had something called diastasis recti, which I know is a crazy sounding word, but I had a gap in the middle of my stomach. I was actually able to put like 4 fingers wide in this big gap, and I was able to bring it down, and I'll talk about that more in a second. But the two things, that diastasis recti, which is a separation of your abdominal muscles, and a weak pelvic floor, which is what causes accidental leaking, things like that, which I know these are big, sometimes confusing terms, and so I'm going to break that down in a second, but those things are related and it can all be helped. And so basically what happened is I was in a private support group that I have for my other company, Dollar Workout Club, and so I have a dear friend, Monique, who has her PhD in this specific area. She did all of her PhD research on pelvic floor function. And so she is like the master at this. And so I was in the support group, and one other mom was commenting. In fact, I'm going to show you a video real quick, because I used to warn people at the beginning of filming these videos. I say, okay, there's a lot of jumping exercises. You might need to go to the bathroom before you work out. You might want to put on a max pad. And now I'm like, oh man, I'm not embarrassed that I used to say that, but I wish so badly. I just wish that I wish so badly I knew about a program like this before. I wish so badly that somebody could have said, Natalie, you're not alone. You don't have to feel embarrassed about this. This is very common, but just because it's common doesn't mean that it's healthy, and it can be fixed. And so I wish somebody would have like handed me this program that we've since created. But I'm going to show you a clip, and this is a little bit embarrassing, but this is my company, Dollar Workout Club, that I'm the president of, and we film workouts, daily at-home workouts, 8 to 20-minute workouts. And this was a workout that my business partner Drew Manning, you might know him as the Fit to Fat to Fit guy, he wrote, and so there was a ton of jumping exercises. And I was wearing these like little gray shorts, and I forgot to put a pad in. And like, we don't cut while we're filming, it's just nonstop. And as I was filming, I could tell I was leaking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and I could feel, it was a cardio and abs workout. So we were jumping and doing like laying leg lifts. So as I was lifting my legs up, I'm like, oh my gosh, people on camera are gonna see that I am literally peeing my pants. And it was so embarrassing, because as the workout went, you could see this little spot on my shorts of pee, and as the workout went, it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And like, I was like, so I have this weird personality thing where when I get really nervous or somebody tells me bad news, I laugh. It's not good. It's like, I've been given really bad news before and I laugh, and it's just a weird like nervous tick. So anyways, I'm like giggling through the workout, but like seriously, I'm like mortified, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm literally peeing my pants. I'm gonna show you, this is as soon as we cut. Oh, and so the whole time I'm like trying to like stand sideways so you couldn't see. And after we cut, you can see.
Thank you guys so much for being a part of Dollar Workout Club. We appreciate you. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Okay, so you get the point. It was really embarrassing, and I was laughing because I'm like, I don't know what else to do. Like, that is embarrassing. And the thing is like, yeah, I laughed it off, and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are really, like, I was deeply embarrassed about that. And I honestly just thought it was normal, because I knew a lot of other people had, go through those same things. And my daughter, I mean, she was 2 or 3 when we filmed that video, so it wasn't like a recent delivery issue. And so a lot of people want to ask me, they say, well, what if I had my babies decades ago? The thing is, pelvic floor strengthening, which is what we teach in this program, I'm going to talk to you about here in a second, studies after studies show that if you do pelvic floor strengthening exercises, 83% of women will see an improvement in incontinence. 83% of women who have issues with accidentally peeing their pants won't have these issues if you go through this program. And I just wish somebody so badly would have told me after I had my babies that, I mean, now the issue is fixed, and I'm so grateful for that. But I could have gone years of not feeling embarrassed and not having these issues when I was exercising, when I was jumping, when I was coughing, when I was sneezing. Amanda says, hey, from North Carolina. Awesome. Kelly says, I have 6 kids and have that gap in my stomach muscles. Okay, so you're not alone. I'm going to talk to you about that in a second. So basically, how the program got created is years ago, I met my dear friend Monique Middlecoff. She's a doctor, and she has her specialty in this exact area. And she basically we were in this private support group together, and one of the other moms was like, oh my gosh, I peed my pants in that workout, and everybody was kind of like, oh no, that's happened to us too. And Monique commented, and she was like, you know, and she was so kind about it. You know, this is such a sensitive topic. She did such a good job of being very like understanding, and she said, you know, that can actually be fixed. And the thing is, in the past, people had told me, oh, you shouldn't be peeing your pants when you're exercising, when you're laughing, and I would get kind of defensive, and I'd be like, okay, well, you haven't had two 10-pound babies, so after you have 2 10 babies, then we can talk, you know, because really I was just embarrassed. That's where that defensiveness was coming from. And so Monique, but like I trust Monique so much, and she's so qualified, so I private messaged her after I saw her comment, and I was like, were you serious about that comment that you made to that gal in the Dollar Workout Club group? Like, is this really something that could be fixed? And I was like kind of like nervous and embarrassed, and she wrote back, she's like, oh my gosh, Natalie, you are not alone. Like, this is what we do. We help people that have these issues. This can be improved. This can be, you know, helped. And so she put me through the program, and it worked. After I went through 4 weeks of exercises, I didn't have accidental leaks anymore. The hip pain that I was experiencing was gone. I was able to lessen the gap in my stomach, and it worked. And so as soon as it worked, I'm like, oh my gosh, Monique, like, we need to create a program, because I know there are so many women out there who aren't talking about this because it's an embarrassing topic. There's a lot of shame around it. So I want to create a program where, one, we can put everybody through the same exact program that I went through, and two, we can bring down that shame barrier that makes people feel embarrassed talking about it. And three, what was really important to me is I wanted to also incorporate a lot of self-love, self-care, a lot of those kind of topics in the program. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what is diastasis recti, what is pelvic floor dysfunction, and how the two are related, and what are, remember, make sure to watch through to the end of the video, because I'm going to show you the #1 exercise that you can do that will help when you're having these issues. Kellyanne says, does it help your stomach appear flatter? Yeah, so let me explain here. So diastasis recti basically just means a separation of your abdominal muscles. So basically you have your stomach, and what can often happen, so diastasis recti doesn't only occur during pregnancy, but it's very common during pregnancy. And that's because as you are growing a baby, your stomach expands to make room for your growing uterus, which makes sense. As your baby gets bigger, your stomach gets bigger. And then what happens is that at the end of pregnancy, every woman has diastasis recti, which is all that means is simply a separation of your abdominal muscles. And so as your abdominal muscles separate, what happens is there is a band in the middle of your rectus abdominis muscles called your linea alba, and that is what holds those muscles together. And so if you're, especially in the case of twins or really big babies, but not always, even smaller babies this can occur, is that connective tissue will get really, really weak and really, really thin. It's kind of like, it's almost like the analogy I like to use of, let's say you've worn your favorite pair of jeans for 2 weeks in a row and you didn't wash them. The jeans kind of get stretched and thin and kind of worn out, and you have to wash them and put them back in the dryer in order for that connective tissue to really come back together. It's not a perfect analogy, but it's a little bit like that, where what happens is when your abdominal muscles separate, sometimes they come back together totally fine. But in a lot of cases, that connective tissue is really weak and thin, and so instead of your abdominal muscles coming back together like this, they can, in most cases, come back together like this. So you have a gap in the middle of your stomach. Now, for most women, that gap, for a lot of women, that gap is in the bottom. So there's a lot of cases where I've heard a lot of people say, after I've had babies, I just can't get my stomach flat anymore. No matter what I do, I can't get that stomach flat. I hate the word pooch, but like a mommy pooch, some people call it, or a baby pooch, whatever. And in some cases, it is simply a case of body fat. But in a lot of cases, it is a case of diastasis recti that has gone undiagnosed. In my case, my gap was actually at the top. In fact, if you look at my profile picture on Facebook, you can see that there's a decent gap there. Even though I was in really good shape, I had some stretched skin, and I did have a gap in the middle of my stomach. And going through this program, so when I started after I had Phoenix, it was actually a 4-finger gap. I was able to take 4 fingers and put that in the middle of my stomach, and the depression was quite deep too. After I went, and naturally it kind of went back together on its own, but I still had like a 2.5 finger gap. And after I went through this program, I was able to bring that gap down to about a 1-finger gap. Now, I probably will always have a 1-finger gap, and I'm okay with that. In order to completely eliminate diastasis recti, you know, if you have like a 1-finger gap and you want to totally together, you would need to have surgery for that. But for most people, surgery is not an option. I know it wasn't for me. And so for most people, what we're looking at is the function of your core muscles. How can we get your core back to functioning properly, so you don't have that big gap and widening in the center? And so, sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. I have some, okay, so Desiree says, Facebook is glitchy on my network. I have cystitis recti and stress incontinence. I thought about getting my bladder lifted and my abs sewn back together, but those are big surgeries. So I'm thinking, and Facebook will only show me 4 lines of your comments. So yes, so we are 100% not saying, oh, you should never see a doctor, you should only do a program. No, like there's definitely a time and a place where there may be some people that have very severe instances where seeing a doctor would be the best option. But what we wanted to do is provide a really affordable option for women. I mean, I know in those throes of the newborn phases, even though I had these issues and I knew I could have seen a women's physiotherapist, I never made the appointment and went. I just didn't do that. The thought of going to seeing a doctor, getting my toddler with me, it wasn't something that I would have done. And so we created this program, and we really went back and forth on the price because we knew, I mean, gosh, Monique and I co-wrote this together. She's a doctor. This is her specialty. There are other programs like this on the market that are $200-$300, and we really went back and forth on the price because we wanted to make this so affordable. We have such a heart to help as many people as possible, and we wanted to get it in as many people's hands as we could. And so we only priced it at $37, which is a really low price point for a program like this. And I'm so grateful we did, because we have had so many people thousands of people that have gone through the program that never would have had a chance to if we would have priced it higher. And so, I'm going to show you guys some testimonials in a minute, but I literally have over 100 testimonials of women saying, whoa, this program worked. Oh my gosh, this program changed my life. I don't have the accidental leaks anymore. The gap is shrinking. And so, I'm going to talk to you for a second about something called your pelvic floor. Now before, if you would have told me pelvic floor, I would have been like, I wouldn't have even known what you were talking about. So I'm going to show you a picture of what the pelvic floor actually is. Your pelvic floor, it's kind of like a bowl shape, and it sits between your pubic bone and your pelvic bone. And Justina, hey Justina, she says that's not a bad price at all. Yeah, I'm really glad that we priced it at the price point we did, because I know that this program is helping so many people and is going to continue to do that. So this is what your pelvic floor looks like. Okay, so let me expand this here. So, can you guys see that? It's a series of muscles, ligaments, bones, tendons, nerve endings that sits, and it's like a bowl shape, right in between, in your, from your pubic bone to your tailbone and everything in between, and it kind of sits right here. And what it is, it's a series of muscles that holds up your bladder, your uterus, your reproductive organs. Everything sits right on top of that pelvic floor. And so if you kind of think as, you have all of your, your bladders up here, and then you have your uterus, your reproductive organ, and then below you have your urethra, which, when you go to the bathroom, your urine comes from your bladder through to your urethra. You have your your vaginal cavity right there, and you have your rectum. Now, these are words that used to make me feel super embarrassed to talk about, but I'm getting more comfortable with it because we've been working with so many women on these topics. So I think a lot of times there's misconception because the pelvic floor sits above all those cavities. And so when we're doing pelvic floor strengthening exercises, it's going to improve the function of all of them, but they're different, they're different functions. Like you have your urethra for going to the bathroom, number one, as I say to my kids, So, so keep that picture in mind as I go through this analogy. So we have something in our stomach, and I'm going to use this balloon. I'm going to blow it up. And I'm going to use this. Oops, that's some air out. I'm going to use this. And if you guys have any questions, I'm on this live with you guys. If you have any questions at all while we're going through this, leave them in the comments. And again, let me know where you guys are tuning in from. I love seeing where you guys are from. Let me know how many kids you have. If you want more specific information on this, what I'm talking about right now, just leave the word link in the comments below. And after the video is over, I'll go back and explain it. So I'm going to talk about something for a second called intra-abdominal pressure. And I'm going to use this balloon to represent that intra-abdominal pressure. And I'm going to explain to you why this intra-abdominal pressure directly impacts why you're accidentally peeing your pants when you cough or sneeze, jump on a trampoline, and why you might have that gap in the middle of your stomach. So it's kind of hard because when I do Facebook Lives, my screen has to be sideways, and I'm going to kind of show you up and down. But all of us, I'm going to use this to represent, have intra-abdominal pressure in our abdominal cavity, and that is totally normal. That's normal body function. That's just something that there's a certain amount of pressure that's in your abdominal cavity that we all have that holds all of everything together. So what can happen, excuse me, is that anytime you do any kind of high impact exercise, like say for example, okay, so can you guys see this? Say for example, you cough or you sneeze, achoo! Or you're running and you're pounding with each step, you're pounding. What that does is it puts a certain amount of force on that intra-abdominal pressure that we all have in our abdominal cavity. And that pressure has to go somewhere. It doesn't just dissipate, it doesn't just disappear. And so when you're doing really high impact activities or normal natural things, coughing, sneezing, jumping on a trampoline, you're putting a lot of force from up top on that intra-abdominal pressure. And so then that force pushes down onto what I showed you a minute ago, that pelvic floor that we all have that holds up your bladder, your uterus, your reproductive organs. That force is going to go downward. And so if you don't have a strong pelvic floor, which again, I'm going to show you this picture. It's a series of bones, muscles, tendons that sit in between your pubic bone and your pelvic bone, and it holds up your bladder, your uterus, your reproductive organs. If those muscles aren't strong, then anytime you put a substantial amount of force from the top, coughing, sneezing, jumping, running, that force has to go somewhere. And if your pelvic floor is weak, that's going to be the weakest spot, and that's where that pressure is going to go, and that's what's going to cause those accidental leaks. So say, this is a rough analogy here, but say this is your pelvic floor, and those muscles are weak, and they're not strong and tight, they're weak. So if your bladder is sitting on top of those weak muscles, what's going to happen? You're going to have urine leaks. You're going to have, I'm going to talk about something here for a second that is something that nobody talks about, and there is so much shame surrounding it. And this isn't something that I personally struggled with, but I know a lot of women do. And so many women in our private Facebook group have talked to us about this, because we can talk about peeing your pants and kind of giggle and laugh about it, but there's other issues too. If you have a weak pelvic floor, you could have fecal incontinence where you're leaking fecal matter, or you can have pelvic floor prolapse where your uterus descends out from the area that it's not intended to be. And so these are all issues related to pelvic floor, and these are issues that have so much shame surrounding them. And that's why it's so important to me to just start this conversation, to start talking about these things, because you would be so surprised how many women struggle with this and nobody talks about it. 1 in 4 women have some form of pelvic floor dysfunction, 25% of women, and there's things that you can do to improve it. And so that's exactly why we created this program. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about diastasis recti and how the same intra-abdominal pressure can impact your diastasis recti. So remember earlier how I told you that we have your rectus abdominis muscles that are held together by your linea alba. Well, during pregnancy, that linea alba can get stretched and weakened and thin because your stomach is growing and expanding. As those muscles come back together, if that linea alba is really, really weak, and you start doing certain exercises that puts a lot of, so we have this intra-abdominal pressure. Let's say you're laying on the ground in a plank position. That puts a ton, imagine you have this pressure, a ton of weight and pressure on the already weak connective tissue, and it's just going to force maybe that pressure, those organs to expand. It's going to find the weakest spot, and that weakest spot is that linea alba. And so it never allows your muscles to fully heal when you're constantly putting pressure, doing things like crunches, planks, V-ups, leg raises. All those are really bad exercises if you still have a gap in the middle of your stomach. So I know it might seem counterintuitive for me, because you might think, well, I'm trying to fix my stomach, so I'm going to do all these ab exercises. Well, the truth is that a lot of the exercises you're doing possibly could be making your diastasis recti worse. And if you go through the exact exercises that we teach in this program, you can fix that separation to an extent. You can strengthen your pelvic floor muscles and then slowly return back to your normal activity. But if you never ever fix these issues, it's never going to get better. It's kind of like if you break an arm and you never cast it, it's never going to heal properly until you slow down for a minute, heal these issues, you know, sometimes I'm a little hesitant using the word heal because there's no guarantee that we can completely fix it. But like I said earlier, 83% of women see significant increase by doing these exercises. And I'm going to show you one of my favorite exercises at the end of this video. I'm going to show you what I think is one of my favorite pelvic floor strengthening exercises. And so there's things that we talk about in the program that, hey, Amy says, you rock, Natalie. Sarah says, I'm pregnant with baby number 4. Can I do this while I'm pregnant? Yeah, so there's no exercises in this program that should be avoided during pregnancy. And in fact, pelvic floor strengthening exercises are recommended. I mean, I'm going to do them my whole life. I know so many senior citizens that have incontinence issues because they have weak pelvic floors. Does running make the diastasis recti worse? So unfortunately, you're not going to like this answer, but it really does. And I never thought that running was a high impact activity in the past. I just thought, like, it's running. It's not high impact. It's not like jumping. But really, every single time, especially sprinting, when you're pounding on the pavement, you're putting force on your pelvic floor. So if you notice that you're having accidental leaks while you're sprinting, running, then that is a sign that you need to take a step back and focus maybe just on walking, or you can do incline walking. And we go through all those details in our program. So another thing that we talk a lot about in our program is posture. And, you know, I especially remember, like, think how, if you're in that new mom phase and you're nursing or you're bottle feeding, how many times are you slouched over like this with the baby's head right here, either a bottle in your hand or a baby hooked up to your boob? Like, hello, that was me for so many years. I'm not a doctor or a lactation consultant, but I nursed my I nursed my son for 20 months, my daughter for 15 months, so I have experience there. And I remember when Monique first put me through this 4-week program, she's like, hey, we're really gonna focus on posture. And I kind of like rolled my eyes and I'm like, okay, get me to like the real exercises. But the truth is, posture plays a huge role. And I'm gonna go back to this concept of intra-abdominal pressure, because if we're hunched over like this, you are putting a lot of force on that pressure that is naturally inside of our abdominal cavity. And so if we can focus on proper posture, it's going to help alleviate some of the issues with the intra-abdominal pressure, and it's going to help your diaphragm not put so much pressure on the IAP. So, there's a lot of our program. I know a lot of people when they first got the program were like, oh, these exercises, like, they seem super easy. Are these even going to help me? And then after like 1 or 2 days, they're like, oh my gosh, like I activated muscles I didn't even know I had. Like I didn't even know that these muscles existed. And so on paper, sometimes that is some of the feedback that we've gotten, is that like the first week feels easy, especially if you're somebody who is used to really intense exercise. But the truth is, like I said, you sometimes have to take a step back and fix and improve and work on these issues before you jump into the high impact exercise. I mean, for years I was doing the high impact stuff while I had issues with peeing my pants. I mean, I remember I used to sprint on the treadmill and I would have to wear a pad because I would accidentally pee my pants. And then I have really sensitive skin, so my skin would have, get chafed. And I mean, it was so awful. And I just wish so badly that somebody would have talked about this and I would have known about this sooner. I could have saved myself years and years of embarrassment. I mean, what would that feel like to you if you knew that you could go to the trampoline park with your kids and not have to worry about accidentally peeing your pants? Like, what would that be like to you if you could look in the mirror and not see a big gap in the middle of your stomach, And our program is not, so to be totally clear, this program is not a weight loss program. We are not focusing on weight loss. There are women that have seen good results in the program because we give good nutrition recommendations, but we are focusing on function here and getting your body back to full function like it can be. And so I'm going to talk to you guys about something that makes me very frustrated in this health and fitness industry. And I think that we have, I'm going to show you a video here, that's what I'm pulling up. I think in our industry, it makes me mad actually, because I think there's some really unrealistic expectations of what a woman's body should do after pregnancy and look like and be like. And there's a lot of people that are doing great things to kind of break down that barrier, but there's so many things that nobody talks about. Like, well, first I'm going to show you a picture of what my belly looked like when I was super pregnant, and then talk to you for a second. So you can see, well, let me expand this here. And when they were born, they were both 10-pound babies. Crazy, right? My stomach was way out here when they were born. And after they were born, I had a lot of issues. So yeah, you guys, and if you guys want to watch that video, you can go to health.nataliehodson.com/abs, or just put the word link below and we'll give you some more information. But My stomach was huge. It was massive. And like nobody told me I was gonna come home after having my babies still looking 6 months pregnant. Like nobody warned me. There's so many things. Like nobody told me I was gonna have these crazy night sweats after having my babies and the sheets would just be drenched in sweat, which is like gross. Nobody told me that like I would have moments where I was like the highest highs and also the lowest lows. Like nobody talks about those things. And so part of why I was so passionate about creating this program is because I want to start that conversation. I want to get more people talking about these things that nobody else talks about. And you know, I think, to be honest, I get kind of worked up when I think about why doesn't every doctor talk about this at the 6-week checkup? Like I really wish every OBGYN would, in fact, if you're an OBGYN and you want a copy of this program, I will send it to you for free, because I think that this is information that every woman should have. Oops, sorry, let me silence my phone. That every woman should have access to. I think that, you know, I feel like I was at a disservice where after my 6-week checkup appointment, nobody said, I mean, I got clearance I didn't work out for the first 6 weeks, and that's so important, I think, for anybody post-pregnancy to follow your doctor's recommendations, but I wasn't given any guidance afterwards of like, oh, be careful doing too much high-impact activity, or, let's see, Sarah says, I wondered the same thing, like, here's your baby, good luck. Yeah, and, you know, or, like, nobody said, hey, if you have diastasis recti, that separation in the middle of your stomach, and you start doing crunches and sit-ups, it's actually going to get worse. Like, I want this conversation to start being talked about. In fact, if you're watching this video and this resonates with you, share this video or tag a friend in it, because this is a conversation that I think everybody needs to start talking about. And is there some shame surrounding it? Yeah, and that's, you know what, the number one opponent to shame is awareness. And when we are willing to be vulnerable and talk about things that maybe make us feel a little bit nervous or a little bit embarrassed or a little bit ashamed, guess what happens? The shame disappears. Shame cannot survive when we own our imperfections, when we own our stories. And Alexandra says, I was told doing jumping rope will help improve it over time. No, jumping rope actually is a high impact activity, because you're putting, like I was talking about that balloon analogy earlier, you're putting a lot of pressure on that pelvic floor when you're jumping. So I would eliminate any jumping activities if you're struggling with this issue. And again, in our program, we go into detail, and I'm going to show you in a second what the program actually looks like. I'm going to pull up the actual program and scroll through it with you. We go into details of like what activities you should avoid, and then the exercises to go that will help it. And you know, I remember after I had my babies, like it was a hard time, and I get frustrated because I feel like, one, there's not enough information about these issues out there, and two, I just remember how vulnerable I felt in that time. Like I had gained 70 pounds during my pregnancy. I remember looking in the mirror and just feeling like I didn't even recognize the person looking back at me. Like I remember feeling so much hatred towards my body, and that's why this program, we really dive deep into a lot of self-love, self-care. We share a lot of stories and examples. We have a whole section on how to learn to talk to yourself more kindly, positive body affirmations. And I know that feels a little bit woo-woo or cheesy, but I promise you from personal experience, those things work. They make a huge difference. And so, you know, I fix my computer here. Basically, that's exactly why we created this 4-week program, because we wanted to outlay, it's a step-by-step program where we show you exactly what you can do if you're having issues with accidental leaks, if you're struggling with diastasis recti, even if you just have poor body image. These are all issues that are addressed in the program and can be helped. If you're having, let's see, what are some other symptoms? If you're having constipation, if you're having hip pain or lower back pain, even if you're having pain during sex or intercourse, those things are all related. So if your pelvic floor is out of whack, if your pelvic floor isn't strong, it can impact everything else. Your core works as a system. So one thing is not unrelated to the other, and that's why we're addressing all those same issues in our program. So I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to read you some actual oh, cool. Where are you guys? Leave me a comment and let me know where you're tuning in from, and like if you have kids, how many kids you have. I love seeing that kind of stuff and hearing where you guys are at. So I'm going to show you guys some actual testimonials from people who have actually gone through the program. I mean, I just took screenshots here, but we literally have hundreds and hundreds of testimonials This one's from Rebecca. She says, I really wish I knew about pelvic floor exercises when I had my first, second, and third baby. Now after my fourth, I'm finally repairing and strengthening everything thanks to your program. My baby just turned 1 and I still haven't been able to return to dance, which I've done my whole life. She said, I'm only on week 2, but already I feel and look better. My hips haven't hurt in a few days, and my husband says he really notices my stomach looking tighter. Thank you for educating me and helping me self-care. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this next one is from this next testimonial we have. It's from Chelsea. After the birth of my second child, I had resigned myself to wearing panty liners my whole life because I would leak throughout the day. After only 1 day of these exercises, it stopped. 1 day with an exclamation point. I am just finishing up week 1. I have to say it's a bit hard for me to be okay with only doing these exercises during the day, but I can't wait until I can start doing more intense exercises again. But the benefits of it are keeping me going. Like, those testimonials literally are they get my blood going because I'm so happy for you guys. Alex is from Lodi, California. I have 1 and planning on getting pregnant with 2nd hopefully next month. Great. Mary says, help me. Walking does it to me every day. So Mary, click the link in the program above, because this program, I mean, I'm reading you, look, Teresa, this next testimonial, it's from Teresa. She says, I'm doing it right now on my 2nd week, already notice a difference, ... Seriously, amazing. Such simple moves that isolate the abs in a safe way and don't feel they get swollen like they were before I heard of this. And I was doing all the wrong exercises for my abs. I've had 3 C-sections, and by the 3rd baby gained over 100 pounds a week, or 100 pounds each. So yeah, I needed this. I've lost 50 pounds by doing workouts and eating healthy. This has saved me. It is totally worth it. Oh my gosh. So the next one, I mean, I'm not going to read all these, but this is from Harley. I had my first workout on Monday. I saw the exercises and laughed like, haha, how is this going to do anything? But I trusted you. I watched the video and my abs felt it. I can't wait for my 2nd workout tomorrow. I mean, this is amazing. So this next one, I'm just going to read this last one, but you guys can see we have hundreds of these testimonials. Stephanie says, thank you for creating this program. I just finished week 1 and I can already tell there's a difference. My lower back doesn't ache constantly like it has for quite some time from compensating for my weak pelvis and abdominal muscles. I really cannot say thank you enough. Oh, hey Liz. Liz is on here. She just went through the program. She says, Liz, hi, I just finished the program and it's completely healed any space I had in my abdomen, and I'm no longer peeing my pants. I've started working out again and my core. So I can only see 4 lines. So I'll read the rest of your comment later, Liz. Thank you so much. So anyways, I literally have hundreds of testimonials there, and I know your guys' time is valuable and I'm not going to read them all, but we have screenshots of some of those testimonials on the link above. Kim says, that's good to hear because intense exercise is my release. I need to survive my crazy days. Totally agree and hear you. But it's also, you know, if it's like, for me, I had to compromise. I'm like, okay, if I can take a little bit of a lesser intense exercise for a while so I can fix these issues, that was worth it to me. So, you know, the main thing is, and I want to emphasize again, we really went back and forth on pricing this program. I mean, every other similar program like this out there is $200 or $300. And we struggled with this because so much time and energy went into creating this program. I co-wrote it with my dear friend, Dr. Monique Middlecoff, who has her she did all of her PhD research in pelvic floor function. And we really we knew we wanted to help and impact as many people as possible, so we chose to price it only at $37. And we did that at such a low price point because we wanted to get this in the hands of as many people as possible. I mean, I know how embarrassed I felt when I was struggling with these issues, and it was the worst feeling in the whole world. And we want to help as many people who are struggling with those same feelings and going through the same experiences now. Oh, this is when I am now working out, I feel so much stronger and more capable. I'm not peeing while working out, which is life-changing. Kim says, totally agree. Oh my gosh, like literally, Liz, that makes my heart so happy reading those comments. So I'm gonna just take a quick second and show you what the actual program entails. So it's a PDF program, and it's almost 100 pages of, so the first part, it's all very informative. So I like Monique, I love her so much, and she told me one time her dream job is to be like a textbook writer. So the beginning of the program is just all education, where we're educating you guys. What is diastasis recti? What is pelvic floor? What is intra-abdominal pressure? All these words that really are weird. I mean, diastasis recti, that's a weird word. Most people don't talk about that, you know? And so it's a lot of education. We talk about the importance of nutrition and hydration, and do you need supplementation, which, by the way, I am a fan of Whole Foods, and I keep my supplementation super limited, in case you're wondering. And so I'm just gonna real quickly pull the PDF up here and kind of scroll through it with you guys so you can see. I'm gonna scoot a little bit closer, move my coffee out of the way. Anybody else having a midday cup of coffee? Me. Okay, so let me make this bigger here. That is Monique, Dr. Monique Middlecoff, and she is, I just love her dearly. You know what, I'm actually gonna scoot my camera closer because I have the light from my, there we go. The light from my window is like super bright on my face. So basically, we have our table of contents, and then we welcome you. We tell you a little bit about our story, a little bit about our bios, how we met, introducing you, let's see here. So introducing you to the program. Is this backwards for you guys? Leave a comment and let me know if it's backwards or if you guys can see it. We explain what diastasis recti is. I tell my own story of like what was normal postpartum. How do you know if you have core muscle weakness or diastasis recti? We have a whole section on that. I talk about how I was peeing my pants after. This is what is the pelvic floor and why is it important? And so we go into a lot of detail about the pelvic floor, proper posture and alignment, intra-abdominal pressure and what that means, which is that balloon analogy. Exercises that should be avoided. We go into a lot of detail there. We go into nutrition and what are foods that are going to help strengthen that connective tissue. We go into supplementation. We go into acknowledgement and positive self-talk, which this is the part that is really important for me. And then we go into the weekly map, which this is the part where, so we know a lot of you guys are probably going to skim through the education part and then you're like, okay, give me the actual exercises. So the weekly map is where the actual exercises start. And then what we have in here is every week starts with a positive affirmation. Then we recap some of the classroom stuff because we know some of you guys are going to skip through the education above. And then we have goal setting in there that we focus on. And then we have our action plan, which is the actual exercises that we're going to have you do each week. So like, for example, I'm going to read you some of these affirmations because I think that they make a huge difference. I take care of myself so I can give my family my best. I rest when I'm tired. I work through discomfort. I keep trying. I have patience. I have perseverance. I do not hold myself to the standard of perfection. My best is enough. And those affirmations are so important to us because I know positive affirmations literally changed the way that I looked at myself and spoke to myself and made a huge difference in my confidence and goal setting. So you can see we have all of the different exercises for each week, the action plans, and then we have completion and then key terms that kind of like go over, okay, what is, if she's talking about diastasis recti or incontinence or, you know, pelvic organ prolapse, what are those things? And we go into key terms. And then we have references, all the medical references, because all the exercises we have here are scientifically backed. And then we have pictures showing you how to do a whole exercise library, and I could keep going and going, of all the exercises. And then as an added bonus, after we released the program, we had a lot of you guys say that video instruction would be helpful too. So Monique and I got together and we filmed a video showing you how to do every single exercise each week. Now the exercises are 4 times a week and they should take about 15 to 20 minutes plus a little bit of walking. And so Alexandra says, I'm buying this right now. Awesome. I'm so happy for you, Alexandra. In fact, I would love if you, as you went through the program, if you would keep us posted and let us know what you think of the program. And so sorry, lost my train of thought when I was reading those comments. So we film videos for each week showing you. We also have, it's optional, you don't have to join, but we also have a private Facebook support group for everybody who's in the program. It is free for the first 14 days, and then if you want to be a part of it afterwards where you can have direct access to us to ask questions, then there is a small fee for that. And it's all included. I mean, if you click through the link, there's information later on that. But the thing is like, if all this program, like literally think about it, if all this program did was help reduce the gap in the middle of your stomach, would that be worth it to you? Like if all this program did, let's say you weren't able to do the exercises properly and it just helped a little bit. I mean, if all this program did was stop from accidentally peeing your pants when you're out with your girlfriends and you sneeze, I mean, or you start laughing too hard. Like if all this program did was maybe help reduce some of the pain that you had sorry, I'm reading some of these comments. Muhammad says, please change the topic. Well, I'm sorry, Muhammad, but this is the topic I'm talking about, so you're happy to leave my page if you don't like it. If all this did was, like, I know so many women struggle with pain during intercourse. Like if this helped alleviate that, what would that be worth to you? What would that look like to you? What would it look like to you if you had the tools necessary to look in the mirror and know how to speak kindly to yourself, to look in the mirror, regardless of what size you are at, regardless of what weight you're at? If you could look in the mirror and feel confident and learn to love and accept your body, what would that mean to you? What would that feel like to you? I mean, what would it be worth to you to, you know, not have lower back or hip pain? I mean, these are all things that I want you guys to think about, because this is exactly why we created this program. I mean, I keep saying this, but I literally feel like I'm on a mission to let people know that just because it's common to have incontinence issues, like a lot of people accidentally pee their pants when they're working out, just because that's common doesn't mean it's healthy, doesn't mean it's normal, and it can be fixed and it can be improved. And I know for me, it brought so much confidence back in me. You know, I say sometimes it helped me get my body back, and I did. And I, in no way, shape, or form, I'm talking about weight loss. I'm talking about the function of my body. It brought the function of my body back to what it should be to be performing optimally. And that's why I am so passionate about helping you guys, about making this program very affordable at an affordable price point, because I really have a heart to help as many people as possible. And this is something that I wish I would have known about years ago. I wish that somebody would have told me after I had my babies, hey, there's certain exercises that are going to make this issue worse. Hey, just so you know, if you go back into high impact exercise immediately, like I remember I started doing insanity workouts after Phoenix was born, and I would literally be drenched in urine after that. It was so embarrassing. And, you know, the other thing is that I want to educate people. I think, you know, now that I've worked with all these hundreds, thousands of women, that there's a lot of misconception, like on just our anatomy. I think a lot of people are embarrassed to talk about accidentally peeing their pants, because a lot of people, and I, you know, even I didn't totally understand this before. So you're not alone if you are wondering this. But a lot of people, there's a confusion between, like, you know, we have different sphincters down here, which even just saying that word used to make me blush. But we have, you know, your rectum, you have your vaginal, your vagina, you have your urethra, which is what urine comes through, and then, and so a lot of times if you're having urine incontinence, what I've learned now that I've worked with so many women is that a lot of people are embarrassed to talk about this, because they think if they tell people they're peeing their pants, people are going to also think, and I'm going to blush saying this, but people are also going to think, like, after delivering babies, that they have, like, I can't believe I'm saying this on a live video, so a lot of people are embarrassed because they think if they admit that they're accidentally peeing their pants, that people are going to associate that with maybe having like a loose vagina or something. And that's the two are separate. You know, just because you have urinary incontinence doesn't mean that you're having vaginal issues. And even if you are having vaginal issues, like, all these things can be strengthened with pelvic floor exercises. Katie says, can diastasis recti be reversed during pregnancy with your program? So here's the thing, is that diastasis recti is going to occur in 100% of pregnant women. And all that diastasis recti means, diastasis means separation. Recti is your abdominis, or your rectus abdominis muscles. And so diastasis recti just simply means that your abdominal muscles are separating during pregnancy, and then they come back together. And so what we call diastasis recti is when they don't come back together properly, and there's a gap in between those rectus abdominis muscles. And so, you know, your question is, can it be reversed during pregnancy? Well, the separation is always going to happen because our stomachs are getting so big. And so where diastasis recti becomes an issue is that after you have the baby, if that connective tissue is so weak that the muscles don't come back together in the proper place, that's when it's something that we want to address and look at. So if we're talking just simply about the separation in your stomach, you know, you won't know if you have that issue until, in most cases, until after you have your baby. But what you can do during pregnancy is go through the exercises that we have in this program for pelvic floor strengthening, where you strengthen those muscles in your pelvic floor. So afterwards, because the thing is that your pelvic floor holds up the baby too. So during pregnancy, just simply the weight of that baby can put a lot of pressure on your pelvic floor that's going to make it weak. Does anybody else have any other questions? I think I went over everything that I wanted to cover. You know, just to quickly recap, I created this program because I struggled with urinary incontinence after I had my babies. I had two 10-pound babies. I would accidentally pee my pants when I would laugh or cough or jump or sneeze. And I just thought that was totally normal. I didn't know that this was something that can be improved. And so I created this program because I went through this program myself and it worked. I don't have issues with accidentally peeing my pants. Some of the common questions we typically get is, will this program work for me even if I had my babies years ago? And the answer is yes. The pelvic floor is a muscle just like any other muscle. So it's like, is your bicep going to get stronger if you've never lifted a weight and you start lifting weights? Yeah, your bicep's going to get stronger. Your pelvic floor muscles are going to get stronger if you start exercising and working them. Another common question we get is, if I've had C-sections, is this program still going to be helpful? And the answer is absolutely 100% yes. And that's because pregnancy in itself, regardless of how the baby was delivered, is going to put stress on your pelvic floor. So your pelvic floor is what holds up that baby during delivery. And so, if you're having any of the symptoms that I mentioned earlier, constipation, urinary or fecal incontinence, pelvic floor prolapse, where your organs are actually descending from the area they should be, those are all symptoms of pelvic floor dysfunction that can be improved with this program. What are some other common questions we get? Will you need to stop your other activity while you go through this program? And unfortunately, I'm going to give you an answer that you're probably not going to like, and the answer is yes, because anytime you're doing any high impact activity, like I mentioned with the balloon analogy, you're putting a lot of pressure on your pelvic floor. And so your pelvic floor is never going to be able to strengthen while you're always constantly putting that force and that pressure on your pelvic floor. The other thing, okay, hold on, we have a couple questions. So Suzanne says, does this help for an overactive bladder? I'm 65 and this is becoming an issue, never been pregnant. Yes. So Suzanne, I'm not a doctor, so I, defer to what your doctor has said in this case. But in a lot of cases, if you have a weak pelvic floor, then what can happen is you have incontinence issues because your pelvic floor isn't very strong. And so when you have that urge to go to the bathroom, it's not able to, a lot of times people have issues with incontinence, like accidentally peeing their pants, or even issues feeling like they aren't completely releasing all their urine, if that makes sense. What's the word? If they're not able to completely void everything. And so this program will help with all those issues. Like if you go to the bathroom and you feel like, man, I haven't gotten everything out, but I don't know what to do, this program will help with that. Kelly says, is umbilical hernia caused by a separation of the muscles? Separating. I had 2 C-sections and umbilical hernia with my second. So that's a great question, Kelly. So diastasis recti is when you have a gap in the middle of your stomach and you can press in. A hernia is when the organs are protruding out. Now, a hernia is, in a lot of cases, something that needs to be repaired through surgery. But again, it goes back to that weak connective tissue. And so if you can do things to help bring that connective tissue back together and reduce the amount of pressure you're putting on that connective tissue, it certainly can help in cases of a hernia. Mohammed says, very informative. Sorry for misunderstanding. That's okay. So I am going to lastly just show you one exercise that I'm going to show you something that's in our program that I think is the best thing one of the best things you can do to help strengthen your pelvic floor. So it's a series of 3 contractions and a lift. And so what I want you guys to do is, again, I'm going to show you this picture of the pelvic floor so you can remember, kind of visualize what it looks like. Here we go. Okay. So if you can imagine, oops, how come that's not big? For some reason the picture's small, but if you can imagine, there's your pelvic floor, and sorry guys, this is not working out so good. So these 3 cavities here, you have your anal cavity, your vagina, and your urethra. Those are the 3 cavities right there. And this is all, medical terminology that used to make me blush talking about, but I'm pretty comfortable with it now. And so what we're gonna have you do is, a lot of times you hear do the word Kegels, which is just like squeezing your vagina basically, and that you're missing a huge piece of the puzzle if all you're doing is squeezing your vaginal wall. And so we want you to focus on 3 contractions. So you're going to contract the muscles of your rectum, contract, squeeze. So kind of like if you were stopping the flow of stool, squeeze your vaginal cavity like a Kegel, and then squeeze your urethra. Like say you were going to the bathroom and you wanted to stop the flow of urine, you would squeeze your urethra. And then at the same time, you want to lift the muscles of your pelvic floor. So that's the hardest part to teach, but it is what we teach in this program. So you want to imagine where that pelvic floor is, and you want to lift like like the floor of an elevator is coming up. So you want to squeeze rectum, squeeze vaginal wall, squeeze urethra, lift your pelvic floor. And I think that is the best pelvic floor strengthening exercise that you can do. If you're just going to pick one, if you're not going to buy the program, but you still want to see some improvement, start doing that. And I mean, our program every week goes through multiple, like 10, 12 different exercises a day, but that's one of them. And you can do that while you're brushing your teeth in the morning. You get out of the shower, you brush your teeth, do your pelvic floor exercises. Squeeze, 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 lift. And then try, squeezing as hard as possible, and try squeezing as long as possible. And I think that you'll see an improvement. I think you'll see an improvement and be like, oh my gosh, what Natalie said worked. And maybe I should go through the rest of the program, because I really think you should. Mom says, my wife put weight after first pregnancy. Please do program for mothers. She wants fat loss. So like I said, this program is not specifically focused on fat loss. It's more focused on getting your body back to full function. So I love you guys. I hope you guys can see my heart in putting out this program. We truly wanted to be able to help and impact as many people as possible. And it makes me really emotional when I start talking about it, because I remember how embarrassed I felt about this for years and years and years. I remember how much shame I had around this issue. I remember feeling alone, like I was the only one who struggled with this. And I want to put this program out there because, one, I want to start a conversation and let people know that, hey, this is really common. 1 in 4 women struggle with pelvic floor dysfunction. 83% of people who struggle with incontinence issues will see improvement with pelvic floor strengthening exercises. 83%. Yet this is something nobody talks about. And so I hope that you guys will share this video, share this link, let people know, hey, tag a friend if you know that maybe they have these issues, and you can do it in a kind way. I know I used to get really defensive when people would tell me, because I was embarrassed about it. But the truth is, if we are willing to talk about these embarrassing issues and are willing to come together and be like, hey, you're not alone. I struggle with this too. And guess what? There's things that we can do to work together to make this a little bit better. Then I think that is, I don't know, I couldn't ask for anything better. So I love you guys. Thank you for giving me time today to listen and talk. And if this is anything that you think is helpful for anybody else, please share this video. Also, if you want more specific information, put the word link in the comments below, and I will respond after this video is over with a direct link that has more information. So I love you guys. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you later.